Hi guys, you're all very welcome back to 3 Minute Tales. This is the Shebeen and I'm Shanna Key. Now recently a good friend of mine, Carl Power, he's like an amateur war historian. He contacted me with the outline of a story. So I looked it up and was blown away, and I'm so glad that he contacted me because it's a beautiful story. It's an absolute corker. You're going to absolutely love it. It's basically just about mercy and humanity in a time when you don't expect it to happen. So yeah, it's just a little beauty of a story. So please sit back, enjoy. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. You can leave a comment down below in the comment box if you want. And if you haven't already hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, please do so because it's vitally important to us. So until the next time, thank you so much. I'm Shanna Key. Five days before Christmas in December 1943, rookie US Air Force pilot, Second Lieutenant Charles Charlie Brown climbed into the cockpit of Ye Olde Pub, a huge B-17 Flying Fortress bomber. Accompanied by his co-pilot, Second Lieutenant Spencer Luke, along with a radio operator, navigator, flight engineer and 5 gunners. Their assignment was to fly from the base at RAF Kimbolton in Oxfordshire in England to bomb an aircraft factory in the city of Bremen in Germany. Brown's plane was assigned to fly on the outer edge of the formation. This was a highly dangerous position as the German anti-aircraft gun operators always targeted the planes on the outer edge. When 3 of the bombers had to return to base with mechanical problems, Brown and his crew took up position at the front of the formation. As they neared the city of Bremen, the planes were targeted by flak guns on the ground. Flying at an altitude of 27,000 feet and with an outside temperature of minus 60 degrees Celsius, a burst of anti-aircraft fire shattered the plexiglass nose of the plane. Immediately, the pressure inside the aircraft was lost and the plane was filled with freezing cold air. 2 of the aircraft's 4 engines were also badly damaged, meaning Brown had to throttle back, leaving them even more vulnerable to enemy fire. With hydraulics and electrical systems damaged, the sustained anti-aircraft fire wreaked havoc on the plane and its crew. The tail gunner, Hugh Eckenrode, situated at the back of the bomber, was decapitated after being hit by shell fire, and the rest of the crew were all injured by flying shrapnel, some of them quite seriously. The pain-killing morphine syrettes on board had all frozen due to the extreme low temperature inside the plane, further hampering first aid efforts of the crew. Brown managed to turn his crippled bomber around and attempted to fly back to the safety of their Air Force base 250 miles away. On the ground, one of Germany's ace fighter pilots, Franz Stigler, was refueling at a German airfield and spotted the stricken B-17. He took off in his Messerschmitt 109 and soon caught up with Brown's aircraft. Stigler noticed the condition of the damaged bomber and was close enough to see the injured and incapacitated crew inside the plane. To the American surprise, the German pilot didn't open fire on the crippled bomber. Stigler, the young Luftwaffe pilot, suddenly recalled the words of one of his superiors whilst fighting in North Africa. "If I ever see or hear of any of you firing at a man in a parachute, I will shoot you myself." Now flying alongside the bomber, Stigler used hand signals to instruct Brown to keep flying west. The American pilot was perplexed and wondered why his enemy would shepherd his aircraft to the safety of the open sea. Stigler stayed alongside the bomber until they reached the coastline of Holland, where both pilots saluted each other. The German pilot peeled off and began to return to Bremen, as the bewildered American flew his bomber back to England. Brown managed to fly and successfully land at RAF Seeding in Norfolk. Following a debriefing by senior officers, Brown was instructed never to repeat what had happened, in case any positive sentiment about enemy pilots was created. Charlie Brown went on to fly for the US Air Force until he retired from service in 1972. In 1976, Brown was asked to speak at a US Air Force reunion in Alabama called the Gathering of Eagles. During the meeting, he recalled the story of how a German fighter pilot escorted him and his crew to safety and even saluted to them when they reached open water. Charlie Brown spent the next 4 years vainly searching records of the German Air Force for the identity of the pilot. He wrote an endless amount of letters to various groups and societies representing retired World War II pilots. Amazingly, a few months later, Brown received a letter from a retired pilot who was now living in Canada. In the letter, it described how a German pilot had seen a badly damaged B-17 bomber attempting to return to England following a failed bombing mission. Risking his own life, he believed that if he flew his Messerschmitt alongside the US aircraft, the ground forces would not shoot at it for fear of shooting down one of their own men. He was even able to confirm the damage that had been done to the bomber, and that they had both saluted each other upon reaching the safety of the North Sea. He had wondered ever since that fateful day if the crew made it back safe to England. The letter was signed Commander Franz Stigler. Between 1990 and 2008, Charlie Brown and Franz Stigler became inseparable friends until they died within months of each other in 2008